Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Academy, powered by Verizon. I'm Mazel, joined by Joshi and Magical again, who is no longer a pirate again.
Do you
Gotta
want
make
me
sure
to put
we're
the
clear with
outfit
that
back
one.
on?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I liked it, though. I did actually like it. But we had an interesting kickoff game to the second series of the day. Before we get to all the fun stuff in the conversation about that one, we have a little fun game called Three Little Words, where I have chosen 3 clips here. We're going to go by 3 little. Thank you for that representation. I've chosen 3 clips. We're going to go through one at a time. But the describing factor here is I have chosen 3 words that are attributed to the clip, mostly in phrases, so short little sentences, and you've got to try to remember, see how your remembering skills are with the series that we just started watching. So here we go. We're going to go with the first 3 little words, and that is, we throw in hands. That's it. Those are the words.
Is this something that we said?
Hands. No,
it's gotta be the one invade, well, like weird invade, where it's like everyone was just fighting all over the place.
Are you thinking around the blue buff?
Yeah, the blue buff.
You're thinking that's what you're thinking.
Yeah,
Hey, that's
pretty...
where you're thinking they're throwing hands.
Yeah.
I feel like we said something to that effect around that spot. That's
did.
definitely where you went to your
You
gravity
did.
falls, like tangent
yep.
came through. So I think it's I agree. I think that's probably the fight.
All right, let's go ahead and roll that clip and show them that they are correct on the first one, because these 2 teams were throwing some hands early on. I don't understand how we got here, but I liked the journey and the destination.
Yes, did I.
This is very much just Dignitas just sticking around saying, we don't think you can actually make this happen. And of course, Neo already level 6, getting the ultimate down. Look at all the chakrams he has. There's not a lot. There's not a lot for Golden Gardens to do on the backside of that, because they're just getting shredded down by Neo.
Yeah, it was an interesting series of events. I love that it started off with Insanity just throwing his ult down like to the bottom right. Like, we'll see if there's anybody down there. But all right,
they're not there, guys.
Yeah. They're not there. Hey, I checked. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the second clip. So my second 3 little words is eyes for eye. What do you think that one could possibly be?
Eyes for eye.
Eyes for eye. Plural eyes for eye.
I guess the last one, Josh. Your turn.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is around the Rift Herald, right? Where
why would you think Rift Herald? That's like at all.
Look, this is the one where Leader tries to chase down JJ, and JJ gets out with a sliver of health, but Leader does pick up the actual Eye of the Herald, so that's going to be my guess, because I know
that's
a good
one.
Like 2-0.
I think it's a good one, too. Because it is that clip. We're going to go ahead and play it.
Woo!
I was trying to think eye for an eye, but I was like, that doesn't work. But then I figured, Dignitas took a bunch of eyes from Golden Guardians.
You could have also you could have gone with die for an eye.
Yeah, no.
But that's still 4 words, Alex.
Yeah.
Die for eye. Die for eye.
Die for eye. That is just obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious in the first place, anyways. But yeah,
Solid
glad to see that in all of the chaos, finally Leader realizes, like, okay, I just got to go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I just got to credit Insanity quite a bit with their ability to take down these fights, right? Constantly in the right position, dodging out from these small skill shots. And I think this was like the one time I looked at Dignitas and like really had a criticism for them, because I didn't feel like they were quite on the same page. But it didn't matter, right? Like, they were good enough individually to make the play work out, and Insanity in particular just totally taking control of this game. And I feel like finding all these kills and assists around these small plays just made him impossible to deal with later.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to go ahead and move on to our third clip, so we can talk about the game
a
little
have
bit
3
more afterwards.
3 little clips.
Because 3 little words, 3. We're all about numbers.
3 little
here,
clips,
especially small numbers that are below 5.
I can only count to 4.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Thanks,
we'll have to, that's your progress for the rest of the split. Going to PG. That's the development I want to see. So for the third clip. The rotating game mode is no longer here, but my phrase is one for all. Do you guys have any idea what it could possibly be?
One for all. Probably when
One
Insanity
for all.
died and they got the ace.
Yeah.
No way.
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
How are you guys so smart? Like,
Big
oh
brain.
my gosh.
Big brain.
I can't believe it. Like,
You're
your
just-
memories
you
are
just make
so
us look pretty good.
Big brain.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. So one for all is indeed the trade of Insanity for an ace, which I guess they'll take every day of the week. We'll go ahead and see that clip real quick and show off a little bit of the Dignitas flexing. I
Yeah.
guess that the muscles kind of getting in there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part about this play is that after the end of this play, Insanity still has the same number of Magi stacks, right? Even
Yup.
after jumping in and dying, he gets so many assists after dying that he gets right on back. He gets
Yep.
back to a full 10.
It's,
He got 2
it's
kills too.
actually
He got
kinda
2
crazy.
kills, 3 assists. So
It works out.
Math.
The math is there.
Math.
We're good.
We're good at that. Really good.
Did you say maths? Are
We're
you
really good.
British?
British.
Maths? Maybe. I mean, I do hang out with a lot of British people.
British.
Anyways, it is a very interesting start to the series, though, because I think it's a very warm welcome, but a one-sided welcome from Insanity to Leader, and specifically seeing how this player is adapting, right? Like, I think the biggest caveat here is obviously a mid-lane change this late in the season, super monumental in terms of gameplay, in terms of how you communicate, in terms of structure for the team, and so it's going to be a little bit of a ride here to see how it all pans out
Well,
early
it's
on. But I
3
think
changes.
You should give space for it.
3 changes. Hoon, Leader, and Prismal. That's a lot of changes for one team to slow, and each one didn't happen at the
Hoon's on
exact same time.
Dignitas.
You're right. Sorry,
we
I'm,
were
no, you're right.
talking
You're
about-
right.
Yeah, yep.
But
Yep.
still, Leader and Prismal.
It wasn't even a pun this time. Dang it.
Nah, it wasn't. But Leader and Prismal, both of them coming out at different times, does really shift how we have to look at this. Because Array was starting to get used to Chime. You can see that your bot lane pressure was getting a bit better. Wasn't the greatest still, but we were seeing the elements there. Now he's got to learn a whole new support to play around. One who does know the role really well. Because he played the ADC role, so he knows what Array is going to want and how to facilitate that. But at the same time, you're still trying to get that practice in. You're trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
Yeah.
you get hit by a baseball right to the face because Leader's suddenly here.
Yeah. And I feel like looking at the way that Prismal has been playing, particularly alongside Acadian, left a little bit to be desired. You often saw that they would go for the pillar and the hook at basically the same time, and they would kind of
Yeah.
counteract
each other, and they wouldn't interact favorably a whole lot. So it's good that they're both seeing the same play, but a little bit more communication can solve that, because I think it happened like 3 or 4 times over the course of the game. And so
I will
you know,
argue with you, Josh, that those were
Don't
all on
argue.
purpose. Yeah.
Fight!
Because-
then they are not good.
No. But the thing is,
That is
I
a
wasn't gonna-
harsh indictment of the
no,
team.
I know. But the thing is, I think they're practicing. It was all practice, because you actually saw a lot of that too when you stole a Gnar ult using the pillar. That was one of the moments in top lane when Insanity went golden at the right moment. Because if you actually watch that play it back, right at the moment the Gnar ult is going in the air, the pillar spawns right behind. So that way they don't have too much distance away for Insanity if they got the play to work. But the stopwatch came into effect and completely nullified those fights. So it's one of those things, I understand what they're attempting to do, but they just have to get the coordination a little bit
it's
better.
just bad communication.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna be real.
I think the communication's there. They just got to fix it and be a little bit faster and more concise.
Maybe.
For me,
we'll see.
it's going into the next game. I might be harsh, whatever it is, but I gotta see XU step up, man. I think that XU has been so important to the Dignitas structure in its own right. And we were talking about how bringing in Leader changes things up, even having Hoon in there. I really want to see kind of how he manages to kind of work through this, because he's a player that we've already obviously talked about.
Yeah.
So much.
I mean, he was a player, right? As we're kind of future casting again and kind of like looking at the past. XU was one of our players that we were in consideration for most valuable prospect in spring, and I think at the time he very much deserved it. But we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of growth coming out from XU, and while I do think he has recovered from a lot of the slump, he's still not back up to his peak form that we saw in spring.
Yeah, exactly that. But Champ Select is ready for the last game of the day. So let's go ahead and kick it over, see what happens. No big booties this time. We'll see what happens.
Don't be so melancholy, Lennon. We'll have more games tomorrow, as there's more games on Academy as well for today, but it will be our last one on the Path to LCS channel. So we load up into Champion Select. We see a Seraphine ban, Kalista ban, with both sides having swapped.
Yeah. And with that coming through, going back to a bit of future casting, right? Remember that every single team going from Academy will make it to Proving Grounds. It's only on whether or not they will have to play that first round, the single best of 3, in order to get to the double elimination. And let's be real, Golden Guardians is all but guaranteed to play that first best of 3. They're currently 5-22. That puts them how many games out? As of the beginning of the day,
I think
that put them 8 games behind.
8 games behind, getting out of the bottom 4, mind you. Not even out of like the top. It is just for them to not have to play that single elimination best of 3. So going into this game, we see that Zeri left open for Neo. I'm interested to see how Neo plays with this, because we talked about Spawn a lot on this champion, how great he was able to play this and pilot it. We saw how many pop-off plays. I can't even list the amount of plays because there's just too many that Spawn had. So Neo has got his time to shine. This is his point to really prove why he deserves to go back into the LCS.
And he played this a couple times on the LCS stage. Remember, the LCS plays so much less games in the course of their season than we have here in Academy. But he has played it twice already. It's the second most played behind Lucian so far on the season. But now Dignitas, once again, they are throwing down yet another counter pick to the Sylas in the Talia. So Dignitas, they're very much ready to come scrapping. And while Golden Guardians have kept their composition exactly the same, Dignitas are switching it up a fair amount.
Yeah, and I do like this read from Dignitas as well. Pretty much saying, all right, you want to go for this again. Round 2, you first pick Sylas, blind into me, Insanity, bring it.
We'll see, right? Insanity won this very hard last time. But again, going back to a bit of the future casting, as we see this Sylas come through, with Golden Guardians, we have to remember that because they're going to Proving Grounds, it's not about what wins they pick up here. It's about the growth that they can make over this week and next week and showcase how much development they can have, right? Off of their very first stage game, you know, I like the direction that they're pushing, but we need to see a lot of it cleaned up, and that will come with time. So for now, as Golden Guardians, they go right on back to Comfort. I think the big thing that I'm looking for is, can they be a little bit more calculated in their aggression? Because it feels as though a lot of their players are egging each other on, right? There's no man, right? Typically, you always look for a yes man to say, yes, we're going to do this, but now they need somebody to kind of reel them back a little bit.
And I'm wondering who that would be on Golden Guardians. Would you
Array?
put Array, maybe, because we saw Array in the last game on Jinx. Try to be more defensive. Try to say, hey, I need a skill. I need some items before I really find that power. And going up against something that's short range like Zeri, he has that opportunity to do so. But Acadian locking in Lee Sin here is an interesting look, because this, to me, says that they want to have these early plays work so they can bide that time for the late game.
Yeah, and it's definitely a spot where just thinking about how Array plays a little bit more, right? You know, he's one of the newer players, and Acadian, Leader, and Prisma are all relatively veteran compared to what we've seen coming out from Array. And so this is one of those spots where if you don't have somebody who is confident that can step up and just say, no, I don't like this, let's back out, don't continue going forward, it can be a spot where if all of your players are just saying, yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go, you end up getting caught out quite a bit like we saw in Game 1. But this time around, we see the Sejuani coming through, going over to Hoon. And this is an interesting blind pick, right? Hoon has been playing a lot more aggressive. He's had the Akali, the Jace, the Vladimir, the Camille. The Sejuani coming out right now gives them guaranteed engage duels, but it kind of sacrifices the lane, especially up against Concept, who can play whatever he wants.
Exactly. I was about to mention that, because we have such a team fight focused composition on the side of Dignitas. I was wondering if Concept was going to pull out one of his cheeky picks, but he just goes for Ornn. Tank v tank matchup does really help out, though. The long engage, non-committal engage that an Ornn provides. And this is something I had even talked about, how Concept likes to play. It is more the team fight capabilities, but with the mid jungle being far more about the mid game, trying to see if they can find these picks, I'm curious to see how they all come together.
Yeah. And now looking at it at this game as well, right, with Leader on the Sylas, he doesn't actually have very many good ults to take away, right? Like, the quickness is okay, right? If you can get around and run across the team, you can have some. But that's the only one, right? Have you ever seen Sylas with Zeri ult? It is useless.
Oh, I know. I know. I made that mistake once.
You do nothing.
I made that
right?
mistake
like
once. I made that mistake once. I was like, oh, that'd be cool to steal away. That's like a Blitzcrank ult. You get it, and you're like, that did no damage. My attack range
I
is
guess
barely...
I'm a little faster.
Yeah, I'm a little faster. My attack range is barely larger, I suppose.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
But it's not as bad as taking Zoe or casting ult, right? Because you get the one Rift Walk and you're like,
Okay, I will say that is unfortunate. He only gets one channel of Rift Walk, but you know what? That's not in the game. We got Silas again,
Not this
the
time.
blind pick from Leader saying, you know what? I'm still ready to throw down the gauntlet into Insanity's Talia. It's whether or not they'll come out on top.
and Insanity going with the Unsealed Spellbook and the Ghost. Insanity had one of the best games I have ever seen from David Insanity Chal, and now XU needs to be careful. He's gotten caught in this position before, but not making the same mistake. Fool me once,
Shame on
shame
you.
on you, but not fooling me twice.
But what if you do get fooled twice? That's the real
Well, then
question.
It is,
What
shame
about
on XU.
what about thrice?
Shame on,
Then who do we blame?
I don't know,
Society?
Kelsey.
Okay, I like that option. Because right now, Dignitas, they do have a ward on top of their blue buff, so some of their emotions will be spotted out. Gaiden is even posturing like you might want to see if they can look for a late invade. But I doubt
Yeah.
they'd actually successfully do that. That ward was nicely placed by XU, so that if Acadian does go for that, if he does decide, hey, I'm going to go steal that blue buff, they'll know exactly what he's doing, and so it'll just be a vertical jungle.
Exactly, and the thing that I remember most about Lee Sin, I'm just saying, if Dignitas was Immortals, they would have gone for that invade, right?
Oh, yeah,
Chat-
of course, Immortals will go for that invade without Lee Sin.
But in particular, Chad is always like, yeah, Lee Sin can't ward his entrance at the beginning. He needs to hold onto the ward for his hop. And Immortals would have done it every single time, and we've seen XU go for a couple invades, right? We definitely saw them do it up against Cloud9 last week, and it gave them a pretty big advantage off of it. So, you know, not completely off the table, but Dignitas taking a bit of a safer route, and now Acadian has a lot of pressure on this Lee Sin to make things happen. He's got a lot of good gank assists, actually, kind of across the board. Every single lane has crowd control that he can play off of.
He's gone for Krug second, getting a little bit more of that XP, and since he's on the Raptors now and will spot out, XU's on the top side, I'm really curious to see if he does opt to go for an invade.
I don't think he's going to go for an invade at this point, right? He's clearing out all these camps, and XU is still here. He doesn't have Prio in the mid lane, and Insanity throws a ward down on the bottom side blue buff. I think he's going to go for this gank in the mid lane and then cross onto the bottom side, but he got spotted.
Completely red from the earlier ward that now times out. Acadian now realizing, my position's been known, so instead I just got to clear out my own jungle. Can't really get much as leader. Does get a little bit of a trade of damage back onto Insanity, or just trying to gain some foothold back in this mid lane.
Oh, and Leader getting all the auto attacks down, actually getting quite a bit more damage, but good reaction speed coming out from Insanity, right? As soon as Leader goes for it, throws out the chains, the rocks are already there. Leader stuns himself, and so Insanity consistently trading damage back, but not CSing quite as well, and now Prismal's here.
Crystal's here, but so
rocks,
is
no
XU.
rocks.
No rocks. The flash in with the dredge line, the damage, the flash away. It's a kill for Leader. First blood. XU trying to get a retribution kill. He's chasing down Leader. Leader's waiting out the Kingslayer, but he can't wait long enough, so XU is able to execute him. While Acadian shows up to give a little bit of backup in the mid lane. But we're just getting parties across the map right now, Josh. Everywhere's fighting. Concept looks like he wants to get a solo kill against Sejuani, who's healing up the damage that she can. The flash, though! Concept takes him down while mid lane. We saw Acadian eventually fall, and Leader, who died at the beginning, was able to TP back.
But the crucial part, XU on the Viego now has picked up 2 kills. He's so far ahead of Acadian, and while Insanity's struggling right now, he suddenly got a very powerful jungle partner who can come out and bail him out there as well. So, Dignitas, it's a different player. We asked XU to step up, and this is his answer.
That's what I was just about to say. You asked. You said XU. You need to start stepping up. And I feel like every time we've asked this of players today, they have done so. Copy in the last years. This one, you see XU getting 2 kills initially, and how he can translate the guild elsewhere is going to be critical. As we take a look at this replay, it's just XU chasing down Acadian, knowing how low their health bars are.
Yeah, ooh, good flash coming out from JJ, making sure that they grab the extra kill of Insanity.
And Leader having a little bit of trade while JJ gets caught out by Acadian and Prismal, taking a lot of damage. He battle dances his way out, but they got a little bit of a
the
range
heal.
with Neo getting a lot of damage as well. Acadian now in trouble. XU wants to take him down, but it's going to be Insanity's auto attack that gets it.
And that's another death going over to Acadian. 0
This is
2
rough.
and 0. Prismal.
Prismal, flash in, looking for the kill onto JJ, but what damage do you have right now, especially now that Insanity is there to provide assistance?
Oh my gosh, absolutely crazy. Golden Guardians continuing to look for plays in Prismal. You have no mana. You have like AQ, but that might be enough. As they do pick up a ward, but XU taking away most of the chicken nuggies from the top side, and Dignitas just responding better to all of the plays that Golden Guardians are trying to make.
You know what's funny, though? This still feels like deja vu. We had this in the first series, where the second game felt very similar to the first. This one, the second game, feels really familiar to the first. We've had a lot of skirmishing all across the map from both teams, with a little bit of a lead for Dignitas, but not anything gargantuan at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, the one big difference, right, is, well, there are two big differences. One, Insanity is not huge, it's actually XU, but at the same time, top lane, Hoon.
Hoon's in trouble. Here comes the call of the Forge God. Was able to at least delay that with the use of a Glacial Prison. Hoon takes a lot of damage, but he'll be fine.
Will get out. Hoon with no flash, though, is very attackable, so good ultimate from Hoon to keep himself alive. And XU.
Leader, you gotta run. He dashes away, but the knock back in with the seismic shove. XU, he could have gotten a kill and instead said, I'm gonna share the gold about.
And there you go, getting Insanity ahead, has recovered all the CS deficit that Leader had picked up. Leader was doing a good job actually laning and preventing Insanity from CSing. So suddenly one of the places of strength that Golden Guardians had kind of shut down as XU, as you said, spreading out the gold for the rest of Dignitas. And as they group up, they're all resetting, they're all spinning their gold, and there's a Hextech Dragon to fight for.
Let's do some check-ins on other parts of the map that aren't just mid lane. We talked about Array playing Jinx into Zeri, both of them great at scaling into the game. We have a bit of a lead at the moment for Neo since we have a cold start. Well, it was a cold start into Noon Quiver for Array. And I want to see how Array is able to actually get into these fights as well as survive. Now that you have to deal with a pretty fed Viego diving into the backline, it's going to be rough. And you can see right here, this is where you have a lot of problems. You can get cut away from the fight. Abscond Abduct did not connect, and Prismal, he's going to be left out to dry. They know they can't save his life, so they just give a killing spree to XU.
That's a third kill. Like you said, the killing spree comes through. Dignitas first on the Rift, but they're not necessarily going to be picking up the Dragon. They didn't get Acadian. They don't know where he is. And so, yeah, checking in, right, Array is kind of the player that we have to look at for Golden Guardians who can have an opportunity to step up. He's doing fine in the lane, but he has been hardcore weak-sided, right? This is like one of the first times we've seen Prismal and Array on the same screen, and they just got, I'm actually shocked that Insanity was able to go that entire distance. He looked like he took damage and still continued riding the wall. But Dignitas, they catch out Prismal. He's consistently looking for these plays, but he's getting punished for it rather heavily.
Yeah, and now we're getting this huge shift from the mid-jungle duo of Dignitas Academy. XU, the thing is, he might not have been the most flashy in the last game, but he still was able to get a big lead. He was the one setting up Insanity in the initial stages of the game. And now it's his turn to have a lot of that gold. It's his time to shine and try to bring the power and show to everyone why he is also a player that we have to consider for our MVP award.
And now as he starts up this Rift Herald, he is very much spotted, but Hoon has prio. Talia can move. And this might be a 3v3. Concept has ult as well.
Looking at this, Gadian's being a little wary, waiting for a leader to show up. They even have Concept on the flank. Call of the Forge Gods available.
Yep.
But the fact that you haven't seen Insanity really rotate up instead, trying to see if they can posture around the Dragon in the bot lane, make sure that doesn't go over to the hands of Golden Guardians, allows a lot of time. And now Prismal had to flash away just to be able to survive that engage.
I don't know if he had to flash there, but he does commit it. Good play from JJ.
I feel like there's enough damage from Insanity at this point.
Maybe. It's definitely borderline. But Dignitas also, I like the fact that they reset the Rift Herald before they backed away from it, right? They didn't want to give a half-health Rift Herald for Golden Guardians to just pick up. And so Dignitas, they go right on back to it. They see Prismal on the bottom half of the map. They reset the Herald, and now they're going to be able to pick it up uncontested. So Dignitas winning the neutral objective fight thus far. Dignitas still have XU very strong. And as they grab this Herald, it's not getting repaid by Golden Guardians at the Dragon yet.
No, that's what I was about to ask. Golden Guardians, now they are, but it feels like it's a little bit late. Feels like they kind of set a timer that puts them a little bit behind in momentum against XU, who goes back, builds up the Divine Tsundere, has quite a sizable lead over Acadian.
But they're too late, right? It is something where they have just enough
I don't think
tempo.
that they're not going to get it, but it's just the problem is afterwards. What happens after this Dragon?
Who knows? Well, as Golden Guardians reset,
well, you're
right,
supposed to be the color caster.
There's nothing to do on the map.
Oh.
They like push waves, like that's
Oh.
it. Like Golden Guardians, they spent their turn to take the dragon, and now Golden Guardians, they have to reset, they have to spend their gold, and that does mean that Talia crashes a wave mid, Neo and JJ, they crash a wave bottom lane. And so as they reset, this is the turn like ticking right on back, and Dignitas, they've done a good job thus far at making things happen. And as Neo resets, they get a little bit of vision down, but once everybody comes back onto the map, that's when Dignitas can try and make a play and potentially rotate Insanity out of the mid lane.
Okay, so you say nothing happens, but like,
It's not much.
but Lee Sin,
Yeah, he's 0-2. What do you want?
a kill, a gank, something. I'm being serious.
It's unlikely to. Lee Sin's not gonna do anything at this point. Lee Sin is like looking for kicks, but you ran out of tempo, right? You spent all of your time on the map in order to pick up the herald, to pick up the dragon, and now all of your waves are pushed back. And so because Leader doesn't have the priority in the mid lane, he can't go make these plays. So this is Dignitas, right? Insanity. The wave is back, and Leader has a small window to try and do something, but Dignitas, they have XU already top lane. There's no mana left on Concept.
No mana left on Huna either. So with this engage, the knockup comes in from Concept, who has some flash wave, and the Heartbreaker gets a rampage for XU.
And a Broken Heart as well. XU backing away. Shattered. I feel bad for Concept, right? Felt like a match made in heaven, but I'm actually a little bit surprised that Dignitas are not committing their Rift Herald up top lane.
I am too, actually. The fact that they're able to get that, even if you don't give it to Hoon, for XU.
Yeah.
4-0. On
Yeah, you just tell Hoon, like, screw off, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
be
pick
like-
up all this.
Yeah. Go away. You're a tank. You don't get
XU
anything.
is Australian now.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Screw off, mate. This here's
Bugger
boy
off.
plate. Am I allowed to say that?
Bugger off?
Well, we did now.
It's not that bad. It's like saying bloody hell.
We'll have to ask Kelsey on that one, but it is still a small gold lead building up for Dignitas, as they are very, very happy with this position. They have a lot of control on the map, and Leader, again, with the blind Silas, he's done fine. He had a pretty good laning phase, but he got shut down because Dignitas not letting him play, and as they crash this here, another turret should go down, and they will open up Insanity.
I do like this a bit better. Because now they can open up mid lane, they can look for a play on the other side. They got a lot of damage on Array, but most important, they got a lot of that gold for Insanity by himself.
Yeah. And they traded it a little bit, and they have total control of the bottom side of the map. So Neo probably, after he picks up this crop, going to go bot lane, going to crash this wave, and Golden Guardians, they have to reset. So good play coming out from Dignitas to just force Golden Guardians to respond to them on the map.
Rocket? Okay,
Is it JJ? No.
Nope. I don't even know why it was tossed.
Honestly, same. I think they were expecting a play.
Oh, Acadian. Oof, that hurts, buddy.
It's a lot of damage
That's
coming
rough. I mean, you got a land whose Torment already completed for Insanity. You don't really have that much in your own inventory if you're Lee Sin. You're just getting melted at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's got most of a Gore Drinker.
Most, but not all.
Yeah, most of it. He doesn't even have the healing part of it, which is the most important part. But Golden Guardians, now as they are on the back foot, we're back to the story of how does Array find his way in. He's getting out-farmed right now by Neo and JJ. He hasn't picked up a single play. He hasn't picked up a kill or an assist. Well, his call is done. He needs to have the Mythic for this upcoming fight around the Dragon, or I feel like Dignitas just win by default almost.
Gale Force or
Okay, he's got Kraken.
Kraken. Okay.
Okay.
I was about to ask which one. Do you want a little bit more safety as well, a little bit more burst for Array, or just go for the tried and true?
I think you need the damage. Yeah, you definitely need to find your way into this because Lee Sin's not bringing the damage. Leader is not far enough ahead that he can be kind of a solo damage threat to get the first kill. And so now Dignitas, they're going to look for a way to prevent Golden Guardians from coming in and hitting. But Golden Guardians, Array walked top lane.
Oh, no.
They're not in time.
They're not. And we can see with, 20 seconds left until we have that next dragon spawn. Golden Guardians might be forfeiting this, but it looks like they're even actually looking to trade. They see Rift Herald. Spawn's up. It's going to be up in just a couple seconds as well, so maybe they can look for that as a potential to answer some of the gold deficit they face.
Yeah, but might be losing the mid lane turret here. It's very close. Insanity almost has enough damage. Neo.
That's a tough
It's
start
fine.
to use on a Neo, but Neo is perfectly fine. He's got protection from JJ and Insanity. As they disengage, the turret survives. But all they have to do is wait for another minion wave, or even just go for the dragon, get themselves a neutral.
And this is where we are seeing the same Golden Guardians that we were seeing before Leader came in, right? It's going back to a spot where they feel almost too timid. It feels like a lot of half measures are coming through, right? This is something we were talking about Acadian. He would get so close to making the play but wouldn't commit, and now
They're just
Sanity.
committing. They're committing this to make sure there's no wave clear. It's going to be a lot harder, so Neo can take this turret. Or can he? There it goes.
Yep.
First brick gold. Then after that, rotating around Rift Herald. Well, before there wasn't much to do on the map. Once you have those turrets that are falling, the neutrals that are up, there's plenty for Dignitas to grab.
yeah, I'm still looking back at the way that Dignitas is playing, and remember when Belveth came out? I know this is only like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago.
I
at this point.
remember.
I remember, but the Fishy Fishies gave XU like a very clear game plan, right? And I feel like it was one of the things that kind of helped him come out of his rut, was having a very clear like, oh, we just go play around the Rift Herald, let's do that.
Yeah.
And we're seeing similar styles from that coming out from XU. He's definitely been much better at coming up with game plans since we saw the release of Belvet. That feels like something had clicked for him at that point. And while Dignitas isn't going for the same kind of crazy plays that we saw previously, he's still going to be able to get out and pick up, I think he got a chicken?
He got, that was the leader who got the chicken.
Oh, okay, 0 chicken.
0 chickens for
But
XU.
now he's going back, he's going for the flank.
Wait a minute. We have concept on the flank. They might be able to kill Neo before he's able to arrive. Now they've got the knock-up on JJ. They've got a lot of damage. They've got Prismal who take that turret for way too long, so he's got to be careful. He's got to be able to get out of this. He's got Hoon and XU on the flank with Insanity on the other side. They're going to be able to take the turret. Use that nice rockets, the grenades, to disengage the fight for now. Well, Prismal is completely spit. They got to make sure they're keeping Array alive. He's fighting. He's kiting. He's doing his damnedest. He's alive. And now they've turned the fight completely. The rocket getting the damage so they can take down Hoon and Insanity. Zap by zap. Flashed away. They connect on that sonic wave. Acadian, the damage he had from Gordranker. And Leader's here too. They're hunting down Golden Guardian. Somehow battle back.
Yo, we gotta give a couple question mark pings to Neo in this play when we get a replay of it, but Golden Guardians, that's a huge gold swing coming through. They were already down like 3,000-4,000 gold. They are right on back to even, but watch Neo. What is this?
Neo by himself. Honestly, why
What
is
is
he there?
that?
And also, great read from Prismal saying, why are you here? You
Yeah.
die now.
That's definitely one of those spots where it is a little bit disrespectful, and so far Golden Guardians, they punish it about to the maximum you really can, right? They get almost everybody. Prismal able to keep himself alive throughout this entire play, and crucially, they build the pocket for Array, they keep him safe, and Leader with the quickness, making sure there's no damage coming through from XU, keeping everybody just barely alive throughout the course of this play. Golden Guardians get everything they were looking for, and with his scaling composition, Ornn very close to level 13, very close to start being able to build items for people.
The thing is, it's so funny. I now am mentioning this, and I'm going to seem like I'm looking at it retrospectively, but I actually thought of this initially. This is a very unconventional Juggernaut composition around Array on James. They have so much peel. You talked about how Cadian, what good is he now? He is good for kicks. What does that do? That keeps Array alive longer. You've got Prismal to save his life. You've got Leader who can steal away ults. You even have Concept to make sure they can disengage. And now Hoon, who's underneath his own turret, gets kicked away from it as the turret falls. It's a trade of 1 turret for 1 with a kill. Picked up by Leader now.
But the Rift Herald,
Dignitas just fully committing. Nice disengage there from Insanity, denying that completely. And look at JJ. He jumped on an Array. There's no peel for him. He's getting chased down by JJ. But now, Acadian barely saving his life. The Rock going to be able to connect, getting a lot of damage. The knockup doubled up on the side of Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians at their base, fighting valiantly to keep this game alive.
okay, Array staying alive yet again, 1-0-3, but
Josh,
I
what
actually want to
happened?
praise.
What
I
just
want to praise
happened?
Golden Guardians for the top lane play, but they didn't respect the fact that the Rift Herald was still there from Dignitas. They lose 2 turrets and inhibitor bottom lane, and that is so tough with the Baron coming up. Dignitas can actually do it relatively healthily. They can definitely burn it down, and Dignitas are still going to be on the map to contest for this dragon.
But I like this. Golden Guardians are not relenting.
Counter
that
press.
pressure. They are pressing hard,
Neo.
looking to get the flashes out of the side of Dignitas, so they will be the ones that can answer. They could possibly take that second dragon into the game for themselves, or gain a foothold around Baron.
But even if they try for the Baron, right, Dignitas just sit there and stall them out. So
I don't think they started.
Dignitas-
I think they just get vision. They just mitigate the control that Dignitas has around
That's
it.
fair. That's fair. You can do that. You can make sure that Dignitas can't do it, but Dignitas already seeming to give up this dragon. Golden Guardians get a little bit back on the map. But I also want to praise Golden Guardians for the play up top side, right? You see Prismo looks for the dive and immediately backs out. Golden Guardians say, no, hit the turret first. We can kill Sejuani when it's done. And they just take down the structure and make sure there's nowhere for Hoon to play around. But at the same time, while the play was good in isolation, the macro play was definitely a win for Dignitas.
Big win on the side of Dignitas with the fact they now have the super minions that will pour in bottom side. But also, it is a bit early for those super minions to start pouring in. That's a lot of gold. That leader, who kind of was struggling in that lane phase initially, they start getting back and maybe even getting a bit of a lead against Insanity.
Well, I mean, he was up like 20 CS to start the laning phase.
Yeah, but he was
took
also down 2 kills.
True. So, I mean, as you said, it is a little bit early, right? This is the challenge for Dignitas because they did pick up the inhibitor. They have to make it worth it. They have to get more on the rest of the map. They have to take away more camps, more turrets, than the missing gold on the fact that they can't farm in the bottom lane. And are they hitting?
I think they're hitting it. They're hitting it. Leader, he doesn't have the TP up just yet.
Yeah, they're hitting.
They're hitting it. They're getting a bit of damage. They can take this pretty quickly. That's why Concept showing up here might disengage. Neo, healing back off of it. Yep, Dignitas not wanting to risk a fight.
Yeah, I actually really like that. Pulling people away from the bottom lane so that they can't farm it, right? Just making sure nobody's able to get access to that money. Even though Dignitas had no real credible threat, if Golden Guardians responded, they still have to force themselves away.
They got the entrance in, and they're looking for Prismal. They bounced him around, so they had so much damage that he couldn't even survive long enough as Acadian. Get chased down. It's going to be the flash in, and the Heartbreaker. Golden Guardians, their hearts are officially broken. They were climbing back into this game, Josh, but now it is Dignitas on Baron, the surviving members of Golden Guardians. This is a last stand.
Yeah, watch Array.
This could be it. You got to make sure you're getting something. Now they got the bounce on
Goodbye.
Array, and without Array, what do you have left, Golden Guardians? You've been slain. You've got damage. You're diving in. Leader is able to get one with a solid hit. He might be a hero, though. He could get X2. Double kill for Leader. It flashed in. Looks for
No
a triple
way.
kill, and he stops the Baron.
Absolutely crazy play coming through from Leader, man. I thought as soon as Array was dead, there was no
Same.
play left
I
in
was
this
counting
fight.
him out. I even said it's over. They've lost their hero. But Leader says, nah, I'm the real hero.
And so, just getting into the thick of it, right? Making sure that you can hit everybody with all the damage. Silas stepping up big. This is the signature champ that they picked for themselves. This has been their first pick in games 1 and 2 of the series, and Leader for the first time showcasing why that's been the case. So let's take another look at how he was actually able to pick this up, because as soon as Array goes down, most of the damage off of this composition is gone, but Leader, he has to get in, right? Like, how does he actually find his way? Because he just finds his way into the middle of the fight and just picks off low members, right? Everybody just sitting there taking a lot of damage from Concept. The flash forward, I mean, he just finds a lot of these last hits because of all the damage that was done previously, and sometimes that's all you need.
And we go back to life. The action, it does not stop in this game. Golden Guardians, they might be 8 games out from making sure they're out of the bottom 4, but they are fighting like hell to make sure it will be closer. It will be more like 7, as they got 1 pick on a JJ, and Hoon is their next target, but he's pretty
but
thick.
Neo,
It's hard to get through. Now you got to worry about Neo. He's getting the damage. Concept, he can take the longest he can, but he's going to be the first one to fall, as XU's looking to see if they can re-engage on the Leader, who's pretty low. The kick away comes in to make sure they're trying to get a little bit of disengage. Golden Guardians might be able to survive, but Neo, he is not done. He is hunted. He's slowed down by a nice zap from Array, but it is all in all a 1-for-1.
overall, the fact that Golden Guardians get away with that many members is very impressive. We are starting to get to the point of the game where the question needs to be answered. How does Dignitas kill Ornn? And right now the answer is it takes them forever.
My
But
God.
here's a potential steal.
Let's see, Acadian, take the call. Sonic Wave, too late. You jumped in after, has already taken the ward up over, but they followed you to get you into the dirt.
Great stuff from Dignitas. XU does not lose 50-50 Baron Smites. They find the kill onto Acadian. Concept still dead. Acadian will be late to the next Dragon, so the Dragon stacking win condition looking very tough. XU starting to look a lot better, right? Insanity still, well, it's not the performance from last game. He's still having a fantastic game so far. Dignitas with the Baron pick up the top lane turret, and then they can rotate wherever they want.
This game has been chaotic for quite some time now, hasn't it, Josh? Seen a lot of action. Golden Guardians, you gotta praise them for how they're fighting back in this one. They're fighting like their life depends on it, partially because it does. Being the 10th seed is not where you'd like to be going into the Proving Grounds. Of course, you'll still make it to Proving Grounds, but you would like to see if you can barely scrape by, get out of the bottom four, and not have to worry about facing that single elimination best of 3.
So, as we start looking at how the rest of this game will go, you know, again, Golden Guardians, they are 11 games behind Dignitas right now, right? This is not going to change the standings for these teams quickly. We are going to have to do it game by
There's no
game.
way Golden Guardians can pass them. With
Yeah,
8 games outside of this one, so 9 games left in the season, it is impossible for them to do that. Only Golden Guardians, the only hope they have is winning this game and then winning every single game and hoping that their opponents start losing so they can at least slide up in the standings.
Yeah, and that's assuming FlyQuest did not win their games.
Yes, that is.
Right, and I don't know if they did. Like FlyQuest are, I think they still have yet to play.
Yeah, they
Team
have
Liquid.
yet to play. They're the last best of 3 on Academy.
But
best
as
of 3, best of
Dignitas
2.
come through, remember, there's no turret here. Dignitas, this could just be a death push, right? Concept is trying to man the defenses. He's trying to man the walls. But Dignitas, they can grind him down as long as Neo and Insanity are not under threat.
But now you also have some ornaments that have been gifted out. Mainly that array. With a lot of damage on Concept there as he's bounced around and he's stunned. He couldn't move. There's no way he can escape
He
that.
didn't
So
even ult.
Dignitas, yeah, like you said, they can just push back in. There was no ult. There's nothing utilized by Golden Guardians, and they are now in dire straits.
And so, look for the wall coming through from Insanity,
The
cutting them
wall,
off.
the wall, and pushes him on the other side, but the side shot pulls back in. Prisma with the damage on Acadian, and a huge grand entrance, a huge battle dance to make sure they can get them all the way back towards their fountain with Only Later on the side, dashing in on top of XU. He stole away all the quickness to try to quickly get out of there. When do they fight, though? When do they want to actually pull the trigger? Because right now, it is looking bad. It is looking over. They've got a little bit of damage, but they're healing back up on the side of Dignitas, all the while chipping at these low health members, constantly making it difficult for Leader, for Array to find their angle in, and with 2 inhibitors taken and a TP from
teleport.
Concept, there is Horn. Who does he knock up? Looks for Insanity on the other side, but nobody can follow that up just yet. No knock up from the charge in, but they got a lot of damage on Hoon, but you do not want to be focusing on Hoon. It's Insanity, it's Neo. Those are the ones you need to take out, and you're the ones getting focused. As Acadian had to flash out of there, and Concept going to be the next target. Not taking it up. Leader getting away as well. How is everyone surviving here, Josh? They're all on low health bars for Golden Guardians. They're on a hope and a prayer, trying to escape from the wrath of Dignitas Academy. As JJ has ult, they've got the TP from Hoon. They're chasing this down, and they've got the bounce around onto Prismal, and Prismal will be a sacrifice as the rest of Golden Guardians bail completely.
And that's going to be it. Dignitas looking to try and end the game. Insanity 1v4, looking to try and pick up Concept, not able to do it. But this is potentially, again, another death push. Dignitas trying to push in, but the wave clear might be there. They back away. And after all of that, Prismal's the only one that died in the second fight.
What in the world happened? That is just wild to me. How much happened in that fight, but only one life is forfeit in that entire stretch of action.
Yeah, Concept died at the beginning, Prismal died at the end. That was the entire set of deaths that happened during that entire sequence. And we get to see, right, it is so difficult. It takes so long for Dignitas to get their way through Concept at this point. He's got the Abyssal Mask. I'm actually a little bit surprised it's not a force of nature, but still, Concept trying to find their way into these fights. He's creating so much space, and while Array is trying to hit, it's just so hard because Dignitas are just kiting back, right? Both Neo and Insanity are doing a great job making sure that they don't make the same mistakes they made earlier. Neo has not walked up and has not died since.
As now, JJ dashes away, avoids getting knocked up in this fight. It's come to the team fights. We haven't really seen Leader in a side lane at all. throughout this series, it really hasn't had the opportunity because Dignitas have called the bluff, say, you have to constantly fight against us. You have to make sure you're
Nice
answering
ball.
us at every single point as they constantly group up. And look at the pinks. They've got the inside angle. They can easily
Leader.
escort these minions in. As Leader, he's the one caught out with the quickness into the backline. They've got a lot of damage on top of Insanity, who's almost low himself. All Leader dodges away. Rocket connects. The flash in on Hoon. They got the knockup, but can they get the kill?
Oh,
Acadian is
Neo.
way late. Where's
Neo.
Acadian? Neo, he's popping off. They've got one kill for Insanity, but can they get more? They kick back on to Insanity. The follow-up for Acadian. Leader takes down JJ, but Neo is the real king here. He is chasing down. Flashed onto Array. Takes him down. Make it more. As now Dignitas with the ace will take game 2.
Neo completely untouched towards the end of that fight. Now, they don't have a great wave to play with, but they will bring it up through the top because at least all 3 inhibitors, and with 30 seconds left, it's only Prismal to defend. Neo and XU trying to close this out.
No way this keeps going. It's 15 seconds until Concept spawns.
It might.
It can't tell me that this is going to continue. He has to call the Forge God. It'll be up when he respawns. As Prismal, like you said, the only one to defend this base, as he's taking a lot of damage from Neo the entire time.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
he's in
no,
trouble.
Prismal.
Oh no, Prismal,
One more.
Prismal, oh, the dominating Neo. He was trying to see if he can delay the fight, trying to get Concept into the equation. And now that Neo
Teleport.
and XU are out pretty far from home, it is looking like the play onto Neo. They knock him up. They get a double bounce around. The Rocket takes revenge. And the Weaver's Wall. They will cut off Leader, but Leader, he's in the fight. He's willing to sacrifice his life. They got one, but now can Concept and Acadian get out of dodge? Can they focus back? Can they get to Array so Array can pump out the damage on Acadian? They might be able to. Acadian's low. He'll die. Shut down. Picked up by Array. What is going on? This game has been nothing but Fight City for the past 5 minutes. The game is still afoot. Golden Guardians have no Nexus turrets to play with, but they have their lives that they can sacrifice.
Absolutely crazy things. This is the Dignitas we know and love, right? Who needs to go for these objectives? Let's just go for fights. We're confident we're going to win them, but finally Dignitas are going to back out. They should grab the Cloud Dragon here, and they got every single structure off the map coming out from Golden Guardians. And Dignitas, they're poised to win, but they're still, as you said, they're still going up against a late game Jinx. They're going up against late game Silas, late game Ornn. There's lots of gold coming through for Golden Guardians. And while Dignitas have done a good job with these touch and go fights this entire time, their job is actually getting harder, not easier. And we can kind of see, right, this has basically been non-stop
When did this
fighting.
happen? This happened like at least 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, this was so long ago. And the big thing to watch here is as this play starts to unfold, everybody on Golden Guardians, none of them can hit Neo. Neo gets to hit whoever he feels like. And because they're spending so many resources on trying to kill the tank, Neo just gets to free hit whoever he wants. He goes incredibly far forward. He's not worried, and while Leader tries to trade a couple of kills back, and they get enough to prevent the game from ending immediately, they still lose the entirety of their base. The only thing left is their Nexus, and you know, some inhibitors have respawned.
Yeah, but now with the Baron buff back on the back of Dignitas, this is looking dire. It's been looking dire for a lot of these fights. And how Golden Guardians have been able to hold on is just incredible. But this is looking like it might be the end. The death nail, the stolen away quickness from Leader. They want one more fight before they lose these inhibitor turrets. The Weaver's Wall will cut off. They're trying to see if they can get to Array, but Array is still far behind. He is making sure that he's got a lot of distance so he can get a lot of damage on Hoon. You see with the Kraken Slayer how much damage he just did, but still, it's not enough. They can reset.
Yeah.
They've got Hoon, the tanky member, so they can look to take down one inhibitor and immediately translate to the bot.
Yeah, and look how far back Neo and Insanity have been playing, right? They are giving no opportunity for Prismal to look for hooks. They're constantly making sure that there are people in front of them that catch Concept.
Concept taking a lot of damage. Might be able to get back towards the base in time. Nice buffer there. The re-engage on the other side. The stolen ult. Leader onto the backline. Looking for Insanity. Insanity's low, and so is Neo. And he's going to be able to get 1-for-1 in the backline. All the other members have to get back to the fountain if they want to be able to restart this fight. But there's going to be enough damage. The follow-up coming in. Neo, he just needs to focus on that, but they want to be able to get the kills on it. Concept has got a double knock-up in the fight. And Golden Guardian still fall. Triple kill for XU. He took the fountain as well, and he'll take the game.
And this time, it's not all insanity. He doesn't have to carry the entire stage by himself. XU and Neo stepping up as well. And I feel for you, Magical. That game was absolutely crazy. Non-stop action. We just basically had 2 fights. It felt like Overwatch, man. You're just sitting there, you're shooting at each other over and over, waiting for your ults to come back, waiting for your summoner spells, but nothing ended up really shaking out. So crazy stuff coming through from Dignitas. XU had moments of brilliance. Neo had moments of brilliance. Insanity was looking quite good as well. And at the end of it, they still take down Golden Guardians 2-0 and push Golden Guardians even further from trying to make their way to the 6th place spot.
I'm pretty sure that nearly fully cements them in the bottom 4.
Yeah.
Because the
Like
only team they could...
1 win.
Yeah, 1 win. That's it. Of the next 8 games, they need 1 win. Or
Well,
10 games.
right,
that
they have today.
Yeah, 10 games if you count today for them. But I'm just talking about for the future, because even if you win all 8 games as Golden Guardians, if you don't see FlyQuest losing all 10 of those games, you are pretty much guaranteed to be in the bottom 4. But for now, we're going to toss it a break. When we come back, we'll have our victorious Dignitas Academy here for an interview with our host, Marcel. Make sure you stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with the Verizon post-game interview with the support from Dignitas Academy. I've got JJ with me. Man, what a 2-0 victory. I would say the first one a little bit easier than the second one. Do you have any thoughts with how that second game went, how back and forth it was, and how close it was to ending so many times?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird game. I feel like we were in total control, and then we had a couple oopsies in mid-game. Plus, we took the inhibitor, which let them farm a lot, and we weren't able to end. So that kind of stalled the game out even more. And then by the time we were, like, towards the end of the game, it just had, like, late-game jinx, you know? It's always, like, scary to like, rush things when they have a jinx in late game. So at some points, we were maybe too careful, and at other points, we were maybe too careless. But I think all of us knew, like, in the back of our heads that we had it in the bag. We just needed to, like, close it out. So, yeah.
Well, you did have it in the bag, also giving a nice warm how do you do to Leader, who just came into the Academy season here. Did you guys have any special game plans going against it? Did Insanity just say, nah, I'm just going to gap this guy? I saw he already tweeted saying, I thought Leader arrived today at some point, but did you all have anything special prepared for that at all?
Not in particular. I mean, we just prepared, like, we knew the kind of champs he likes to play, and we were prepared for him to pick those if we had our answers, but I wouldn't say it was, like, different than preparing for any other player that likes to play that style of champ, like very mobile, like non-mage mid laners. So, but yeah, I thought he actually, even though they lost, like, Leader played well individually. So, yeah, he seemed pretty good.
I like it. I do have a big, talking point, obviously, and the fact that you have changed up bottom lane partners here at this point. How has been playing with Neo, not Leader, Neo so far?
It's been good. I mean, I played with Neo way back in summer of 2020 before he got promoted, so I kind of already knew what he's like and, like, how he likes to play. Obviously, like, we've both improved a ton since then. But yeah, the only thing that kind of sucked was, like, we did in-houses yesterday where we swapped some rosters back and forth and stuff, and, like, I only got 3 games with Neo, and like, as a team together this week, I think we, like, with this exact roster, we didn't have a single game of scrims together, so it was kind of weird, but I think we all know that, like, we're good players, and, like, even though people may get slotted out or slotted in, we're still, like, a strong team.
Yeah. Do you just real quick off the bat, do you have any words you want to share with Spawn, or anything along those lines?
Not in particular. I mean,
Okay,
I just know that he's going to go and do well. Like, I think he's been steadily improving over the last 2 years. Yeah, I don't know. I like to joke with him that I, like, made him, but it's not really true. Like, he put in the work himself, and, like, he's been keeping his head down and grinding for the last 1.5 years as well. So, like, even though I might have helped him with some stuff here or there, I think he's ready. He's more than ready to play LCS, I'd say.
I'm sure he'll appreciate those kind words. I have a personal attack that I'm gonna levy towards you right now, JJ. What's up with the poses, man? Where are my cool poses? Where, like, I want to see you guys standing on top of each other's shoulders. Like, what happened? What happened? How did we fall?
The problem is that we don't have any more ideas. Like, we had a bunch of ideas, and we've already done all of them, and now every time it's time to take a picture, we got nothing. So if anyone,
All right,
actually,
I'm gonna send
wait, we
you
did take one
ideas,
today,
man.
but I'm not sure if it got posted. So
Okay, well, I'll check. I'll go judge it, and then I'll get back to you. No, but we'll
Okay.
make sure. We'll see if the community can come up with some poses for you guys to do.
yeah, if anyone has any
jokes
ideas
aside,
for group poses, just put it in Twitch chat. We'll like read it later.
all the references, all the references. Thank you so much, man. I want to give you a little bit of chance to give any shout outs. Anybody you want to talk about here?
Not really. Shout out big sponsors. Shout out my team for keeping it steady, even though we've had like kind of a weird week. And shout out to Spawn, so you can kill it this weekend.
Love it, man. Hey, shout out to you, JJ. Thank you so much, man. And we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna bring back Joshi and Mr. Magical. See how their thoughts are sitting with them after talking to JJ, giving some shout outs to Spawn, but also some shout outs to working through the season so far, Joshi.
Yeah, I mean, Dignitas definitely been outperforming our expectations across the entire year. I remember when we first looked at them in spring, we did a bunch of PRs at the Oracle Elixir Discord, and Mark was very proud of the fact that he had them, I think it was 9th. And
Yeah.
everybody else had them 10th, right? And so far in spring, I think they got like 5th or 6th overall in the regular season and did respectively at Proving Grounds. And now they're in a very similar spot, right? They're currently very firmly in 5th last we saw, because we did just see CLG and 100 Thieves go 1-1 in their series.
True.
And Dignitas have kind of been my gatekeepers so far from what we've been seeing of this split here in summer, and they're living up to it, right? They're consistently beating teams below them, but they still need to find ways to raise the level so they can start taking games off the better teams as well.
Yeah, I loved hearing a little bit more as well as the poses. Magical. We gotta get back and come up
Yeah,
with
you
some
can start with a
ideas
Captain
to send
Morgan,
them.
right? You
Yeah.
can't see my knees.
Yeah, I love the commitment though, Joshi. Joshi, you were ready, man. You were like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Instantly, I was like, you guys know what I'm trying to do.
That doesn't work.
Doesn't
Just
work on here.
imagination. But it was really cool to hear that. We gotta make sure the community bites back though and get some poses to them. But that is it for the day here, at least on Stream B on Path to LCS. I think we had some not as interesting or combative series as I think I might have wanted today. But
Did you not watch our last game?
I was hoping to get that reaction from you.
There's
But, you
non-stop fighting for 4 minutes.
Then, were you like, did you go get some food or go to the bathroom or
No,
something?
I
Because
just really wanted to get that reaction specifically out of Joshi because I wanted to see him
I
freak out
feel
on the
offended
stream.
too. I'm right alongside him.
I
feel
didn't get a big
greatly-
reaction out of you. I got a reaction out of
You want a
Joshi.
big reaction out of me? Here you go.
Well, hey, there you go. All right, well, we got your reactions here. If you ever need any reactions, come to Path to LCS. Speaking of, though, we got to talk about tomorrow's schedules, as we will have a full slate of games across both streams yet again. It'll be on the Academy stream, twitch.tv/Academy. Immortals Progressive Academy taking on Golden Guardians Academy, then Team Liquid Honda Academy taking on Dignitas Academy, and rounding it out with Cloud9 Academy versus 100 Thieves Academy. That one is going to be an absolute banger. And then on twitch.tv/PathLCS, we will have TSM Academy versus CLG Academy. That one actually will be a fun one. And Evil Geniuses, after a 2-0 victory today, going against FlyQuest Academy. And those will be some fun matches to round out at least week number 6 here, Joshi.
Yeah, Serdi said that he was, in fact, going to be 4-0ing this week with the rest of Evil Geniuses Academy. They're halfway there already. But for me, obviously, Cloud9, 100 Thieves. We are starting to see our top-of-the-table teams go head-to-head yet again. We already looked at the fact that Cloud9, they still had to play 100 Thieves, CLG, and then Team Liquid back-to-back-to-back. So we're going to be getting bangers for the rest of the season. We're going to get to see Cloud9 and the top of the table challenge each other yet again, and maybe get some ideas on what our later rounds of Proving Grounds will end up looking like.
Indeed, it's very, very exciting. Now, I do want to do one last little bit before we send you off to the matchup that I'm about to talk about. But the last match of the day over on Twitch.tv/Academy is Team Liquid Academy versus FlyQuest Academy. Joshi, before we go, do you have any thoughts on that matchup? That's it.
It's. I'm gonna be real. It's probably gonna be a fast one.
Oh man, no hope. What happened? You used to be the.
Philip is
We'll
on
get
the
to that
LCS
later.
team. What more do you want from me?
What, does his love not carry over? Gosh, so
Eh.
fickle. So fickle, these boomers. Anyways.
Wait.
Magical.
You're both older than I am.
I don't know what you're talking about. The mustache says it all. Magical, you have any thoughts on Team Liquid Academy versus FlyQuest?
If I tune in and I see Bradley on Gangplank, I don't need to bother watching the games.
I better see so many more pictures of you in a pirate costume if he does
Yar.
lock it in.
Okay,
but
if
that's
they
it
ban
from
Kumo's
us.
Trinamira and Bradley gets Gangplank, it's very
Oh,
fast.
no.
Very fast.
Yeah, it's very fast. V fast. It'll be a quick series. What was Spawn's quote? Is like, I want to keep our series under an hour of gameplay. So, hey, we'll see if that actually happens. But again, that's it from us. So thank you, Joshi, Magical, for joining me on the desk. Thank you to Esports Engine for making us look good and keeping all the lights running through it all. So very much appreciation to you all. And as well to the audience, to the players, to the teams, to the staff. We wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you all, and we'll see you on twitch.tv/academy.
Yar!